Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuhu. I hope you all are doing fine by the grace of Almighty Allah. In today's lecture, I'm going to teach you about the basic strokes that is being used in today's modern English calligraphy, or you can say brush pen calligraphy. These basic strokes are basically the building blocks of any letter in English alphabet, or you can say in modern English calligraphy. English calligraphy is basically done by the use of the brush pen, but in today's video I'm gonna teach you and show you how you can do it with the help of a cut marker and a highlighter. Students, before starting our main lecture, I want you to have some knowledge about the rules and the graph that is being used in today's modern English calligraphy. So, talking about the graph that is being used in the English calligraphy, the graph comprises of three narrow lines. As you can see, 1, 2, and 3. It consists of three narrow lines. The first one, you can see this line from this point to this point, it is known as ascending line. Basically, ascending line is the guideline that shows or that displays how high the sky letters should be. As you can see, H is the sky letter. It is a sky letter. You can see the height of the H, this loop. It touches the end of the ascending line. The next line, as you can see, X has been written already. This line is known as X height. The second one line is known as the X height. The X height is the line where the main body of any letter is put. As you can see, in A, the main body lies here. In H, the main body of the letter lies in here. Likewise, in G, you can see this is the main body of the G. So, the main body of any letter is being put in the X height line. The X height line is further divided into two parts. First one is waistline and the second one is the baseline. Baseline is the line where the main body of any letter sits on. And waistline is the line where main body of any letter touches or hits. The third line, as you can see, is known as the descending line. The main function of the descending line is to display and to show how low letter is. Basically, it tells us about the depth of the root letters. Letters have been categorized into three types: stem letters, sky letters, and root letters. Those letters which lie between ascending and descending, or you can say which lies within X height, like A, these are known as stem letters. And those letters which consist of ascending line with X height line, they are known as sky letters, like H. The third category is known as root letters. Root letters are the letters which lies within X height line and descending line, these two lines. 3 points that you need to remember about holding the pen are: number 1, the grip. Some people hold the pen from here. It is okay to hold it like this. Some hold it near its tip like this. It's also okay to hold it like that. But for me, the sweetest spot to hold your pen is from here, from this point, like this. And you should hold your cut marker like this. The upper tip should be towards your left side and the lower tip should be towards your right side. Second important point about the pen is the angle of the pen. You should hold your pen at an angle of 45 degree to the paper. You should not hold it vertically or horizontally. It will not make perfect strokes for your calligraphy. So always hold pen at an angle of 45 degree. And third, the most important point is do not hold your pen parallel to your paper. If you have put your paper like this and your pen like this, then this is not the right angle. If your page is like this and you are writing like this, I mean to say parallel to your paper, then it is also not the right way to hold your pen. You should hold your pen at an angle of 45 degree with the paper. Your pen and paper should make an angle of 45 degree. One more important thing that you need to remember while writing in English calligraphy is that whenever you are writing any letter and the movement includes an upward movement, you need to apply less pressure on your brush pens. But if you are using cut marker like me, then you need to use only this upper nib to make this thin, or you can say light stroke. Whenever the movement is from upward to downward, you need to apply more pressure on your brush pens. But if you have a marker, cut marker like this, you need to use whole of your nib to make that stroke. Just like I have put my marker like this and made a downward motion and made a thick, or you can say hard stroke. So upward motion, light stroke, downward motion, hard stroke. As you can see in the letter A, when I was moving upward, I made a light stroke. I just started from here, not from here. When I was moving a little upward, I made a thin, or you can say light stroke. I was moving downward, I made a hard stroke downwards. Again, I started from here, so I made a thick, or you can say hard stroke downwards. And again, as I was moving upwards, a light stroke was produced by the marker. I hope you have a little bit concept about the light stroke and the hard stroke. Light stroke is also known as thin stroke, upstroke. Hard stroke is also known as thick stroke or downward stroke or downstroke. So the light stroke and the hard stroke are the two main strokes from which other strokes have been driven. So let us discuss about these strokes. Light and hard strokes should be written between ascending line and descending line. I mean to say you have to write it in the X column, X height line. Using your tip, upper tip of the cut marker, you need to move your pen slowly and gradually, making a little curvy line upwards, and you will end it like here on the waistline. Let us make a line, thin stroke. Start from here and a little curvy, move upward. Again, start from here and move upward. like this. Thin light strokes are always made whenever you are moving your pen from downward to upward position. It is also known as upstroke because of its movement. Light stroke, or you can say upstroke, as you can see its size is not too thick, it is thin in size, so it is also known as thin stroke. The hard stroke will also be written in the X height line. You have to use whole of your nib to make the hard stroke. It will be a kind of a diagonal line. Put your marker like this on the waistline and make a downward motion, a diagonal downward motion. You can see the difference between their sizes and you can now judge them by their names too. Always remember that while we are moving from upward to downward motion or position, you have to apply more pressure on your brush pens, or you have to use whole of your nib of the cut marker to make that hard stroke downwards. Now you will see that the remaining strokes will be made from these two basic strokes. Before starting our next overturn stroke, you need to remember one thing, that it includes thin, light stroke, thick or hard stroke. It includes both light and hard strokes. So when we are combining these two strokes, you need to combine them in the parallel position. First of all, you need to make up parallel lines like this. The stroke name is overturn, so you need to start from the downward position and you will make an overturn stroke, and again you will move your pen downwards. So whenever we are moving upwards, we make a light stroke. So use the tip of your cut marker and move on this line. Now as you are moving from this position to this position, you can see that the upward position is thin, but as I am moving downwards, the stroke or the nib is fully being used while making this stroke. If we move these lines forward, they are parallel to each other. They do not intersect like this. So this stroke is totally absolutely perfect as both the strokes are parallel to each other. Again, take a look. If you are moving your pen like this and you are making a stroke like this, now what? Move these lines forward, and this line, you can see they intersect at a point. So these are not parallel lines, they are intersecting each other. Again, take a look. Light stroke upward, and as you are making a downward position, you have to make your hard stroke parallel to the light stroke like this. Light stroke, hard stroke, parallel to each other. The next stroke is the underturn stroke. Like the letter U in the underturn indicates us that this stroke will be like the letter U, but it will be a little bit of the diagonal type. So it will also be written in the X height line. Let's get started, but before starting, again you should make two parallel lines like this for the perfect stroke. Starting from the upward position, you have to make a hard downward stroke. Make a hard downward stroke, and now use the tip of your marker to make a light stroke upwards. Again, hard stroke downwards and light stroke upwards. Use the tip of your marker to make the light stroke upward. So this is the underturn stroke you will get. If you make this stroke like this, so it will be totally wrong. Why? If you extend these lines forward, you can see that these lines are intersecting at a point. So it is not making two parallel lines, they are intersecting each other. So this stroke will not be considered as underturn stroke. It will be totally wrong. The next stroke we have is the compound curve. The compound curve is made up of the previous two strokes. Overturn stroke, when combined with the underturn stroke, it makes a compound curve. So for this you have to make three parallel lines and you have to write this stroke in the x height column. Make three parallel lines like this. Now the compound curve can be reversed in some letters. I will show you the reverse form of compound curve too, but first of all let us write compound curve first. You have to make an upward light stroke with the help of your upper tip of the marker like this. Now use whole nib of your pen to make a downward hard stroke. Again, make a light upward stroke with the help of your tip of the marker like this. So this is the compound curve that we got. Again, take a look. First you have to make an overturn stroke. The strokes should be parallel with each other. And now this one was the overturn stroke and this one is the underturn stroke. Again, hard stroke and a light upward stroke. As you can see, this is parallel with this line and this line makes parallel line with this one. So this stroke is perfectly right because the light and hard strokes are making parallel lines with each other. The reverse compound stroke is made when you make a underturn stroke first and then you make an overturn stroke afterwards. First of all, make an underturn stroke. Now from here the overturn stroke will begin. This is the light stroke. As you can see, it is moving downwards. A hard stroke is getting produced like this. So this one is known as the reverse compound curve or reverse compound stroke. Here comes the next stroke, oval stroke, or you can say oval curve. The oval curve starts from the light stroke like this. You should not start the oval stroke with the thick stroke like this. Now let me complete it and I will show you why you should not start from this point. This is downward hard stroke. Now I am getting with the light stroke upwards and this. As you can see, this space, it has not been filled, which does not make a good look of your oval stroke. So always start from an upward, or you can say light stroke. Now use whole of your nib to make a downward hard stroke, and again make a light upward stroke. Again, first of all, you have to make a light stroke, then use whole tip of your nib, make a downward motion, and again a light stroke upward. Likewise, compound curve, we have reverse compound stroke. We also have reverse oval curve or reverse oval stroke. In the reverse oval stroke, you have to make again an upward light stroke, but in the rightward directions. Then you have to make a hard downward stroke and again a light upward stroke. So the last two strokes are the ascending stroke and the descending stroke, or you can say ascending loop and descending loop. Ascending loop is mostly written and is written in the ascending line and x height line. These two lines are occupied by the ascending strokes. Descending strokes, as the name indicates, that it will be moving towards downward, so it will be occupying the x height line and the descending line. So the ascending loop, as the name loop indicates, that you have to make a loop like this. So you have to start this loop from the waistline, which will touch the ascending line, and again moving downwards, it will be touching its starting point. Let us draw this stroke. Hold your pen like this. Use the nib of your cut marker, upper nib. Move light upwards like this and make a hard downward stroke like this. Again, make a loop. So from here you have to use whole nib of your cut marker and touching the starting point of the loop and ending on the baseline. Next one, descending loop. In the descending stroke or loop, you have to use last two lines, which are x height line and the descending line. Descending means that you have to move your brush pen from the upward to the downward position, so it will be in hard downward stroke like this. You have to start from the waistline, touching the baseline and touching the descending line. Now you have to make a loop likewise you made in the ascending loop and stroke. So you have to make a loop like this. So it is an upward motion, so you have to use this upper nib of your cut marker. Okay, like this. Again, make a downward hard stroke, make a light curve and use the nib of your marker to make a loop. Again, That was all about the basic strokes of the modern English calligraphy. Let me know in the comment section that you have enjoyed today's lecture, and also let me know which stroke is your favorite one. See you in the next video. Till then, Allah Hafiz and Fi Aman Allah.